he's kind of busy, but you think he would hear, 'cause everything I ask him seems to fall on deaf ears. So I guess that's what I'm doing here. So I said, hey, Mr. Snowman, thanks for your time. I'm feeling so much better now. What's yours is not mine. Now life is looking rosy and I'm feeling just fine. I said, hey, Mr. Snowman. Hey, Mr. Snowman. Hey, Mr. Snowman. I really, really love you, Mr. Snowman.
80s pop star and Keane Gardner, Kim Wilde. And this is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 3 o'clock. This is Catherine Cracknell. Labour's called for tougher action against people smuggling gangs following the deaths of at least 4 migrants who were crossing the channel in a small boat. Dozens more people were pulled from the freezing water by emergency workers in the early hours of this morning. The government insists a recent agreement with France will see more dangerous and unnecessary crossings prevented. But the Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper thinks more has to be done.
Far from stopping those criminal gangs, those gangs have grown and grown. And the UK and French governments and authorities have failed to stop the criminal and smuggler and trafficking gangs proliferating around the Channel. Those gangs have created a multi-million-pound criminal industry with lives at stake, and the action against those gangs has been too weak.
China has removed from Britain 6 diplomats involved in a violent scuffle with protesters outside the country's consulate in Manchester. The officials, including the Consul General, refused to waive their diplomatic immunity and be questioned by police and were recalled to China. Our diplomatic correspondent James Landale has the details.
Diplomats can voluntarily give up their immunity and offer themselves up. The Chinese chose not to do that. I think what was made very clear to the Chinese, though, is that if they did not put themselves up for questioning, and if they did not kick them out themselves, then the British would formally declare them persona non grata, that's the official name, and expel them formally. So what the Chinese have chosen to do here is to take the route of least resistance and the most de-escalatory move, which is to remove all 6 men straight out of the country.
Firms have warned their Christmas sales are being hit by repeated postal strikes. The latest walkout by Royal Mail staff is taking place today. In a separate dispute, rail workers are taking part in a 48-hour strike, which is due to end this evening. An investigation into the behaviour of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, has been expanded. Number 10 says 5 further complaints against Mr Raab during his time at the Ministry of Justice are being investigated. Our political correspondent David Wallace-Lockhart is following the story.
We knew that there were 3 official complaints being investigated. Downing Street today telling us that is now 5 additional complaints being investigated, so up to a total of 8. It's believed those 5 relate to his previous stint in the Ministry of Justice. A source close to Mr Raab told the BBC that there is zero tolerance for bullying across the civil service.
An 8th person has been confirmed dead following an explosion in a block of flats in Jersey on Saturday. Search and recovery teams are continuing to comb the debris of the 3-storey building in the capital, St Helier. And a 94-year-old care home resident from Oxfordshire has fulfilled a lifelong wish and taken to the skies to fly a small plane. Frances Gilks said the views were spectacular and she loved every minute of it. That's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 3.
Scott Mills.
Good afternoon, Sarah Cox is on at 4. We had Ray, who is 100 today on the birthday game earlier.
Love you, bye.
There's a photo of Ray on Radio 2 socials right now. Some people are going, is he real? And is he 100? Yes, he is. He's real. He's on Radio 2 socials now.
Scott Mills on BBC Radio 2.
I honestly thought that people stopped playing it years ago, but if you're still playing Whamageddon, turn away from the radio right now.